Today marks the 9th day of the P. Diddy trial. Judge Aaron Subramanian settles into court for another day of witnesses taking to the stand to give their evidence. Yesterday's court hearing left off at George Kaplan, who was a former personal assistant for P. Diddy. George takes to the stand and Maureen, who could not finish her questioning yesterday, continued today. It's 2:30 in the afternoon UK time. George confirms to the court that he used to carry cash in hand for P. Diddy, which could be anything up to $100,000. George also tells the court that the testimony he gives will not be used against him as he has an immunity order after being subpoenaed to court. The defense questions George on P. Diddy's romantic relationships. George knew of Kim Porter as she was the mother of 3 of P. Diddy's children. He also knew of Gina and Cassie, who were P. Diddy's girlfriends. When asked if he ever witnessed any physical abuse, he responded that he did between Cassie and P. Diddy. George goes into detail about an incident that he witnessed on a private jet in 2015, where he heard glass breaking and it was P. Diddy standing over Cassie while she was on the floor on her back, trying to create a gap between her and P. Diddy with her legs. He also stated that Cassie was shouted at the people on the plane, asking if anyone could see what P. Diddy is doing to her. George confirmed that P. Diddy was angry and smashed more glasses, and no one, including the security, did nothing as they were paid to protect P. Diddy and did not want to step out of line. George also goes on to explain another incident in the same year where Cassie was on a bed covered in bruising on her face. George was called to the bedrooms by P. Diddy and asked to go to the pharmacy to pick up some anti-swelling cream. That was the year that George decided he no longer wanted to work for P. Diddy, as he was not comfortable with the domestic vile aunts he was portraying onto everyone. Prior to George leaving, he stated to the court he saw another incident which involved Gina whereby he saw P. Diddy throwing some objects at her in one of his homes. George states he remembers P. Diddy being very angry and Gina was trying to protect herself by moving out the way and using her hands to cover herself. He also heard a lot of arguing between Gina and P. Diddy. When questioned why he did not intervene, George stated it was due to him trying to have a successful career and that would not have happened if he got on the wrong side of P. Diddy. The row with Gina and Diddy was the ultimate straw for George to resign and told P. Diddy it was due to his father being ill, which is true as well, to ensure he left on good terms. It's now the defense's, Mark's time to cross-examine George, who go in for the good times he had working for P. Diddy. Mark questions George on P. Diddy's finances and what is put through the business. He ended the question on if P. Diddy has ever been violent to him, and he replied that P. Diddy has shouted at him but never physically. He also confirms he never heard Diddy threaten Cassie whilst he worked there. However, previously mentioned the plane incident. The defense end there while the court wait for the next witness, Kid Cudi. What are your thoughts on George's testimony? Was he sitting on the fence more to not upset